He looked for all money to be getting over. Mundine flicked the ball over the top. It's going to be a try. And what about the late shot there from David Hall? In fact, it was Nigel Roy with a late shot. But the try is going to be awarded to Dean Raper. And St. George have drawn first blood in the first preliminary final. And don't the fans love it? Leading by 6 points to 0. Last tackle. They go back to Goldthorpe. And Goldthorpe goes for the field goal. Looks good off the boots. And it is good. The hand goes up from Kelvin Jeffs. And add a point to the score for St. George. He loves a sneaky field goal. Does Noel Goldthorpe. And at the 23rd minute, St. George go out by 7 points to 0 in this first qualifying semi-final with a 7 points to 0 lead. But they've under the pump here as North Sydney look to try and find some chinks in the armour. Taylor on the last tackle. He's crunched by Brown. His kick goes backwards. It's marked there by Nigel Roy, who races down the touchline. Grubber's back on the inside. Knocked on by the Dragons. Sayers picks it up. Sayers will score for North Sydney. Comes against the run of play a little bit. Kelvin Jeffs points to the spot. And North Sydney are on the board with 6 minutes remaining. St. George 7, North Sydney 4. Able to throw it over as the siren is about to sound here in front of more than 38,000. Looking to reduce the margin to just a point. Missed his first conversion from out wide, but in comes Taylor. Drives this one sweetly between the uprights and 2 points to the Bears. And it's half-time of this first qualifying semi-final at the Sydney Football Stadium. And we've got a Bobby Dazzler of a game on our hands. St. George 7 lead North Sydney 6. One of these sides will find themselves in the grand final in 40 minutes' time. Might be the ones that have got a bit of a tan. I'm sure they'll be looking forward to the shadows coming over them. But half an hour left in this game. St. George leading by 7 points to 6 over this North Sydney side. Brunker breaks a couple of tackles, gives it to Raper. Raper keeps the ball alive. Now goes to Coyne. Coyne breaking his way through. Goes it inside to Bell. Great passage of play here by the Dragons, who all of a sudden have a little bit of energy in this set of 6. Bartram now goes forward, flicks the ball back to Mundine, and Mundine has got a bit of room to manoeuvre. Mundine racing away downfield. They're not going to catch him. The 5'8" will score for the Dragons. Their second try of the afternoon. And he has cut the Bears to shreds from absolutely nothing. St. George 11, North Sydney 6. 10 gone second half. Oh, he is fantastic, this youngster, isn't he? He has some career ahead of him. Going to Brisbane next year, but boy, oh boy, St. George might be able to see a bit more of him before that. Lovely offload from Bartram. What about the turn of speed? No one could catch him. Even David Hall, who had a shorter radius to Mundine, couldn't get there. And the man scores the Dragons' second try of the afternoon. Has he opened up this ball game? Goulet, good strong carry there by the Australian and New South Wales representative. 30 metres away, good set of 6 after points. Here goes Goldthorpe to the air. Dangerous looking kick. Leaping high, there was Bell. Mark Bell, ball on the inside to Bartram. And the Dragons are in again. They've gone bang, bang and open up this ball game here at the SFS. St. George 17, North Sydney 6. And don't the boys from Cogra love it? Nice run up the middle there, chewing up a few more metres. Soden out of acting half. Goes to Taylor. Taylor steps off the right, goes back on the inside. Here to Sears. Sears can smell another try coming. The Dragons say no. Not this time. They get some much-needed cover defence there. Soden out of acting half. Soden will score for the Bears. They are back the Shoremen. They get their second try right under the post. They needed that. Great vision from little Mark Soden. Coming across to Sydney City in 1997, along with Scott Goulet, as we see Dean Raper break into the backfield, tripped up just from behind by Taylor and Sears. Brown out of acting half. Brown going. They're holding off him. They're holding off him. Brown scores for St. George. Is that the game gone? 14 minutes remaining. St. George 23, North Sydney 12. Nathan Brown, he seized the opportunity when it was given to him. North, they held off. And he raced towards the try line, holding the ball out as if he was going to pass. I don't think he was ever going to pass little Nathan Brown. Expecting them to score 3 in the last 12 or 13 would almost be out of the question. Bartram looking for his 72nd goal of the season. Strikes this one, sneaks it inside the upright. And the grind continues. St. George 25, North Sydney 12. St. George as Brown waits for the dummy half. 20 metres away. It goes now to Goldthorpe, who goes to the air once more. Coming forward, and it's been spilt there, and it's been picked up by Goldthorpe. He puts it on the chest of Mark Bell, who scores in the corner for the Dragons. Cherry on top of the cake for the Red V. 29 points to 12. And Mark Bell's fantastic final series continues. What an afternoon in Sydney for St. George. St. George 29, North Sydney 12. 2 metres in from touch, strikes it, but it swings away to the left-hand side, but it won't matter because the St. George Dragons, the first side, into the 1996 Grand Final. They've won this first qualifying semi-final in emphatic fashion, 29 points to 12.